Good morning, Packers fans. Aaron Nagler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on most of the Cheesehead TV social channels. Yes, our official Facebook channel still undergoing maintenance after being hacked. But I am live on my personal blogger page, so hopefully you're joining us there on Facebook. Hope you're all doing well. Tuesday, it's time for the Packers to lean into the defense. If you haven't had the chance to read Spoon's column over at PackersNews.com, I highly recommend you do so. Just a great job by Tom laying things out as far as the identity of this team going forward, the possibilities, and how Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur will need to maybe adjust slightly their approach on offense. And I won't belabor the point, but I think everyone should read it. I think it's excellent stuff from Spoon. Good morning to everybody in the comments section. Hope you're all doing well. Rogers hurt toe starting us off right away with a super chat. Shout out to the dude with the super chat yesterday. Bears equal poop. That's legendary stuff. Go Pack go. Well, Rogers hurt toe. That is a shout out to an ongoing theme during the draft watch parties. It's a long story, but as you can tell, it's stuck around. Ed, thanks for the super chat. So will there be a season this year, or due to this draft, will the NFL just say, what's the point, and just give the Super Bowl trophy to the Packers? Ed? I can read that one of two ways, sir. I can read that as you are very excited about this draft class, or you are sick of everyone pumping it up. I'm not quite sure which one which lane you're going down, but yes, I can report there will be a season. That said, I really like this draft class, but we shall see. We shall see. Dustin, what's going on, buddy? The smoke is cleared and Bags can now date again. Bags can now date again? You talking about Nags can now date again? I don't know what you're talking about there, sir. Joseph, thanks for the super chat. Morning, Nags. Can't wait to watch this team grow. When is the best time to check out training camp? Opening day, a week in once things get warmed up. Hoping to surprise my dad with a trip up there this year. Joseph, that's an excellent question. Up until last year, I would have said, yeah, get their opening day. Even with the kind of ramp up period, because of the CBA, they used to have the 3 days non-padded practice, and then they would put the pads on and start hitting. But now they have a 5-day ramp up period. I would wait a week. I would get there. That's what I'm going to be doing this year. I'm not going to be there right at the opener for the first time in forever. Simply because I can't afford to be away from New York for like a month, which I would have to do if I wanted to see as much as I do. But yes, I would suggest getting there whenever the kickoff date is, whenever they announce training camp dates. Whatever the first date of camp is, I would wait 5 days. And now there's always like a period where they have those initial practices and then they have a mandatory day off, and then the guys come back, and then there's another day in shorts and helmets, blah, blah, blah. And then they put the pads on. So 5 to 6 days is what you're going to want to kind of aim for after the start of camp if you want to see hitting. And like, look, some people, if you don't get the opportunity regularly to go to OTAs, minicamp, which, there's 2 or 3 practices throughout the offseason, which are open to the public, where they are just in shorts and helmets. But, that's cool. You get to see the guys. Aaron Rodgers is there. Well, maybe not in the offseason, but you do get the opportunity to see the Packers at work, right? And for some people, that's what it's about. And the start of camp is still a vibe. Like, it's still great. It is very cool when they kick it off, regardless of whether the guys are in pads or not. But if you're down to see some hitting, albeit, it's not what it once was. Training camp in the NFL hardly is. But if you want to see some physicality, you want to see guys go at it, you want to see the lines kind of go to work on each other, maybe some one-on-ones, pass rushing drill, what have you, I would wait. That's what I'm there for. That's what I want to see. Can't really judge much when the guys are in shorts. So obviously that's why I go. That's what I want to see, especially the young guys, the rookies, their first NFL action in pads. That's all the stuff I'm interested in. But if you're just there for the vibe and you just want to hang out, see a practice, go to 1919, hang out at Lambeau, see the stuff around the stadium, then, you can get there right away. But if you want to see some hitting, I would definitely wait. Chris, good morning, buddy. Good morning, Romeo Dobbs. That is all. Thank you. I like it, Chris. I like where your head's at. Scoto, thanks for the super chat. I saw James Jones compare Christian Watson to Jordy Nelson, Romeo Dobbs to Greg Jennings, and Samori Torre to himself. I know JJ is a homer, but wow. Yeah, well, he's a homer, but the man is knowledgeable, especially at that position. So I will take those comparisons. Thank you very much. Ed, morning. Again, excited, man, and it's the fault of y'all at Cheesehead TV. Well, we are dedicated to Packers fans worldwide and getting you very excited for this draft class. That's what we're all about, buddy. Jeff, good morning. Where do the Packers stand cap wise? Any idea? That's a really good question. I do not know. I haven't looked. A reminder when you're looking at places like Over the Cap or Sport Track, although I think they do note this on most pages. During the offseason, only the top 51 contracts are counted, and it's called the Rule of 51. So that's what the kind of limitation and or kind of area the Packers and all the other teams are operating in. Last I remember reading, they needed roughly like 7 to 8, maybe 9 million to sign their draft class. So, and I think they were hovering around 13 mil under the cap. So they should have, plenty of room to sign their draft class. But, after that, it's going to get a little tight. No doubt about it. But what else we got? Do you think Fuller is still an interest to the Packers? Jake, yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I tend to doubt it. I mean, like as you intimate there, they were certainly interested. They were ready to give up a fourth round pick. But the Texans held out for a little something more a couple years ago, and clearly that never materialized. I would suspect maybe there's an outside chance, right? Now, obviously, it would have to be for practically a veteran's minimum contract. It would probably be something akin to what Watson signed for. I don't know if he'd be down for that. But yeah, I guess there's an outside possibility, but I would tend to doubt it. I think they're going to wait and see what they've got here with their new draft class, the three receivers that they drafted. I think they have 2 or 3 as undrafted guys. So I think they'll kind of let that sort out first. Maybe if they get to camp and there's an injury or something, they'll see what's out there. But I suspect they're pretty much set at that position. But we'll see. Literally, who gives a shit what Orlovsky says? Man, I think Dan does a really good job on television. But he does have this tendency to really go into it. Like that thing yesterday when the Hopkins news broke that he was suspended for 6 games, and immediately almost Dan's on television saying the Packers should trade for him. Like, has he seen his contract? Do they know their cap situation? No, but I will say, I do think Dan does a good job for the most part as an NFL analyst. I do think sometimes, I know he has a friendship with Rodgers. I think sometimes that colors his analysis a little bit. He sees DeAndre Hopkins possibly being available. He wants to get Rodgers all the toys. Oh, the Packers should make this happen. Like, it's so out of the realm of how they operate at all, and B, the general sense of reality around his contract and the fit of the Packers and how it might work and blah, blah, blah. But no, I think, like I said, Dan is really good when it comes to the X's and O's and explaining to you what happened, why, all that nonsense. And I know, man, look, he has a tough gig. They all do on TV, you know, eh, and I think he does it better than most. So I did retweet him yesterday, though, on that Hopkins thing because, come on, it's just funny. Jano, what's up? On average, how many undrafted makes the Packers team each year? I'm excited to see the Wisconsin wide receiver maybe make the team. I mean, yeah, you would think there's a possibility there. If you turn some heads, you make a play every single day in camp and make it impossible for them to ignore you. Yeah, you got a chance, I would say. No doubt about it. Generally, I know the Packers historically have been, in the past decade plus, have been one of the top teams in the NFL when it comes to undrafted free agents actually making the squad, like having, a chance to make the squad. I think it was the Seahawks. I think I've talked about this before, but the Seahawks put together a study a couple of years ago that they sent out to agents that showed opportunities for undrafted free agents, how many times undrafted guys had actually made the roster. And I think Seahawks were first as far as opportunities go, and the Packers were second. And that's out of the 32 teams. So, and that's it's a hazy memory I'm having, but I do know they made that report, obviously, because it it showed them in a really good light when it comes to undrafted guys. And, that feeding frenzy that happens towards the end of the draft regarding, the calls the guys are getting. Oh, come with us, you'll have a real opportunity. A lot of times it ain't a real opportunity. It's just, filling out the roster. But in Green Bay, the word is definitely out there. Agents know that if you're in Green Bay, you are going to get a legitimate shot. You know, you are going to get a look. So there's no doubt that that does play into guys deciding to come to Green Bay. Chris, what's up, man? Extend Jair, sign Julio, great vet presence. Yeah, I mean, Julio's still out there, right? I'm not going to completely dismiss it. I tend to doubt that happens, but never say never. And as far as extending Jair, I can't imagine that it doesn't happen before the start of training camp. Oh, what else we got? Big Daddy Cool Breeze, what's going on, buddy? Smash that like button, people. To quote Trading Places, yeah. Smash the like button, folks. Come on. Most hated Minnesotan, what's up? Good morning. Hope you're doing well, man. Lee Bruce. Not to be confused with Bruce Lee. What's going on? Watson, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Walker, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Book it. Lee, I see no. That's ironclad. That's a lead pipe lock right there. Well done. I have no notes. Matthew, what's going on, buddy? Besides Razul, Jair, and Stokes, how are you feeling about the depth at corner after those three? Could we see the Packers re-signing Kevin King? Ooh, there's a name you dare not mention on this here chat because of the commenters. But could they? Yeah, I guess there's an outside chance. But yeah, no, look, you just named three really good corners, and most teams struggle to find one. So yeah, Shamar Jean Charles, let's give him a chance. Let's give him a chance to kind of grow a little bit, right? My boy Kabion Ento, could he be heard from back into the mix? Who knows? Yeah, I don't know. With the idea being that Walker is going to keep them out of so much sub package, I can't imagine that they're going to be on the hunt for a veteran corner. I mean, now maybe maybe an injury strikes and changes that equation, but if they're not going to be in that dime look or even the nickel look as much, I can't imagine that they're going to make it a priority to go expend salary cap space on a vet. But again, you never know. Jeffrey, game 2 tonight. Go Bucks! I had no idea the Bucks were playing tonight, but I'm very happy for my friends in Milwaukee who are Bucks fans and Bucks fans around the world. I love Giannis. Giannis is the man. He's amazing. Love him, and I love that he has brought this energy to the city of Milwaukee. Obviously, defending their title, totally in their corner. Go Bucks. Dylan, what's up, man? Per Andy's Twitter poll, if you could have the Packers sign a vet at any position, what position would it be? My thought is edge. Yeah, I mean, edge is kind of the obvious one, right? I think in the sense of needing at least a little bit more depth there. Now we'll see what happens as far as guys who are able to can get developed up through. I know there's a couple of guys in the undrafted free agent class, or at least one. Sorry, guys, gotta make sure this is not it. All right. Oh my goodness. All right. But yeah, I think edge is the kind of the one piece where you're thinking you're coming out of the draft weekend and you're looking at how the board fell and the additions to your team and you're thinking, yep, could probably use at least another body there. And they'll be on the lookout. Look, last year they went through how many people? Now obviously a lot of that was due to injury, but they were always turning over every rock and possible free agent acquisition. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but that's definitely a spot that I think they'll continue to mine, so to speak. What else we got here, folks? TKM, good to see you at your post, bud. How goes the puppy search? Some of us want an update. Puppy fund. The puppy search will continue this weekend. I haven't seen the girls in like 2 weeks because of the draft, but we'll be back at it this weekend. And I know Olive is very excited. Although I think Olive's more excited about going to see the new Doctor Strange movie because she will not stop texting me about it. Oh, Del Aros, that's a good question. Post draft, do you think any vets might be on the hot seat cap casualty for camp more than they were? I mean, usually that kind of move gets done post, like we saw that yesterday. A couple teams cut guys because of stuff that happened in the draft, what have you. And I think if the Packers were going to make that kind of move, it probably would have happened yesterday. Now, that said, could it potentially materialize down the road if something else happens as far as, a vet acquisition, what have you, and somebody else has got to be kind of cut or as for whatever cap reason? It's a possibility. I don't see them going that route. Just, what we need an extra 5 million in space, X, Y, Z, whatever, right? Um, there's no one that leaps to mind. And I know Dean Lowry's been a popular one this offseason. It seems to be every offseason, but they've like things like Big Dog coming back. They paid Big Dog his bonus. So, he's obviously going to be back. I just can't, really see them cutting someone unless there's like a dire need to make an acquisition or there's an injury or something along those lines. But right now, I think they'll roll with the squad they got and how it's currently constructed. Chris, thanks for the super chat. Super stoked that we have the pride of Nassau Community College, not Adam Schefter, but Razul Douglas on our team. Dude's a legend. I love it. Razul Douglas, a legend in every walk of life. Joseph, thank you for the super sticker. Greatly appreciated. What else we got? Mason Crosby deserves a spot on the 2022 squad, if for nothing else, his video with, with Pat O'Donnell, pure gold. Yeah, Daniel, I saw that the other night. That was fun. That was a good time. It's interesting they got those. They still have those two other kickers, though. I think that's going to be a competition to watch throughout the offseason. I don't know. I mean, if all three of them end up in training camp, it'll be a bit of a surprise. But as of now, got three kickers on the roster. Dean Lowry is underrated. I mean, I guess, because Packers fans continually seem to want to move on. He's coming off his best year as a Packer. Of that, there is no doubt. He's playing his best football, which to me is all the more reason to keep him around. But yeah, Packers fans, they're always after the new shiny thing. You know, um, I hope, now that it's funny, we've talked so much about getting Kenny help, right? That has been kind of the rallying cry here online, Twitter, what have you, for a number of years, right? But I am kind of fascinated to see how Dean Lowry plays with everyone around him kind of raising the level, right? Raising the bar, so to speak. Jaron Reed, Wyatt, Kenny, etc. You get all these guys in the rotation. I think Dean's going to look even better. It's just guesswork on my part, obviously, but I tend to think, iron sharpens iron. And like I said, he's coming off his best year. Hopefully that continues. Maybe next year, if all the new linemen do well, maybe they trade David Bakhtiari. I don't see that, Daniel. Guys, I don't understand the fantasy football mindset. He's a really excellent football player. You want to keep excellent football players. The only reason they traded Devontae is because Devontae wanted out because they didn't extend him last year. They've paid David a large amount of money because he's really good. You want those guys on your team. I don't get it. TKM, what's up, man? Love this draft. More talent for the QB Love era puppy fund. All right. Can we just get through 2022 first before we start worrying about the Jordan Love era? Come on now. Do you enjoy the live draft stream or live game streams more? That's a good question, Jake. Probably that first night, I enjoy the draft stream more. That third day of the draft is tough. It's a long ass time to be streaming. But with the games, it's like it's fun, but it's tense, and it's like I don't know. I do enjoy them. I don't know if we can do them every single week this year. That gets to be a lot. But that first night of the draft, I had a couple people, friends of mine, who aren't into the Packers like I am, but they know we go live, whatever, and they were watching. They're like, God, you like are having so much fun, and it's true. Like it's so great. Like the draft is great that first night, especially. Like because it's filled with hope and promise and whatever in the future, and you're welcoming these new young men as Green Bay Packers. Like I love all that. So yeah, I would just say definitely the first night of the draft is probably my favorite. Dave, what's up, man? Who changed the Packers' apparent view on the value of middle linebacker, Campbell or Barry? That's a good question. It is a different defense. Of that, there is no doubt. In Dom and and Mike's defense, which share similar principles, it was all about the edges, right? And in this defense, it's funny because the Rams had the number one defense 2 years ago with, not any real superstars, definitely not all pros in the middle. But man, you saw how well Campbell played last year, his first year in this system with Barry pulling the strings, so to speak. And now you've doubled up on talent with Walker in the first round. I think, more than anything, what you heard Brian talk about that first night of the draft, the greatest defenses all being like filled with linebackers who don't need to come off the field. I don't, and I've said this before, as I'm not making, it's not an about face here. I do think they've valued the position. I just think they haven't wanted to overpay for it. And the board, such as it was or has been the last decade or so, has just never really fallen perfectly for them. I think the greatest example of that is when, they could have taken Miles Jack and they took Kenny Clark instead. I think Jack's a great player, but I think that was the right call. And that was literally the last year I got upset about a draft pick because Kenny's so good. He's one of my favorite players. And I'm like, these people know, exponentially more than I ever will when it comes to why they're making certain selections, et cetera. And especially in Green Bay. Yeah, I really don't think that they've suddenly had a light bulb moment where, oh, hey, we got to be strong in the middle. I think they understood that. I just think the value hasn't been there and laid out for them the way it was this year, especially having 2 first-round picks. You knew that whatever you did with 22, you're still going to get a pretty damn good player at 28. So you could, if you're the Packers, sit there and go, yep, we can afford to, pair this young buck with our all-pro and let them grow together. But yeah, I mean, all of that said, I would love to talk to Brian about that. Now obviously he can't speak for Ted specifically, but he could certainly, talk about being in the room when some of those decisions were made throughout the years. What else we got here? What else we got? Got that one. Lee, what's going on? What are the chances Goody trades for a veteran tight end? I would say minimal after the draft. I think pre-draft was when those calls were being made, but post-draft, minimal chance. But never tell me the odds. Chris, what's up, man? Great. Extend the emotionally volatile man, then trade all of his friends. Let's see how that plays out. Please, no more drama. Are you talking about Rodgers? Emotionally volatile? I don't know, man. I've seen a lot more volatility and emotion than Aaron Rodgers. Lee, again, what's up, man? Wonder how big a role Barry played in the Quay pick. Yes, that's something I would like to find out. Now personnel people will certainly have talked about, all of them have talked about how there are certain things they ask the coaches to watch, but they supposedly, the way it works in 1265 Lombardi is the personnel group is kind of, very separate from the coaching staff and doesn't really take a ton of input. But that said, I'm sure Barry was asked, hey, let's take a look at this kid because there's a good chance we draft him. Like in that regard. Michael, what's up, man? Discuss the need for a vet wide receiver via trade or free agency. Discuss the need? Honestly, I don't think there is one. I think they've done what they needed to do, and they are ready to hit the ground running week 1 with what they've got on hand. Now, do I think that means they won't stop looking? Oh, that they will stop looking? No. I think they'll continue to look. As Brian says, it's a 365 gig, but they could win a lot of ball games with what they have on hand right now. A lot of ball games. So I don't think there's much need. All right, everybody, I'm going to have to get going. I can't thank you enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Please do me a monster favor. Hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends and tell your family. Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great day. Go Pack Go.